Hello everyone and welcome back to another technical Unobtained episode. In this episode we're going to be checking out a lot of builds I have done since the release of the last episode, and we're also going to be checking out some unobtainable items I've gotten in 1.12.2, our current version. One of the examples of that is my current armor, which is quite good armor as you can see. It protects you very much. And yeah, we're going to be checking that out right now. So first we'll need to start with a little bit of an explanation as to how this bug works with getting the armor. It's actually quite simple, and it's interesting to me how long it took for this bug to be discovered. I'm searching for a repeater because, as you might have expected, you need shadow items for this particular bug. So yes, repeater. And you need an update suppressor like I have here in the end. I built this setup in order to create shadow items previously while doing a big build, because using shadow items you can affect the player's inventory on long distances. So for example, if you have stone bricks, this stack could be matched in your inventory, and then these hoppers would be putting more stone bricks into this stack, and then those stone bricks could be used by the player. So then you'll get the item you want to enchant, and it has to be unenchanted, like this unenchanted diamond sword. Okay, so now you can see I have there are two swords, and how you do it is you have to log in with a bunch of accounts, because if you open the enchantment table and put the item in with the required amount of lapis in order to enchant it and then enchant it, then the other item, the other shadowed item inventories won't be updated when you do that. So you can still add more enchantments to an item even if you've already enchanted it. So just this is a shadow item because this one has sharpness 1 now too. So now I'm going to be showing you a few clips of how I got this particular armor. So let's first try enchanting this pair of boots here. I've RNG manipulated all these 8 accounts here, so they have the enchantments I want them to have. So now you only have to choose in which order you want them added to the boots, and then you can do it like this, and then you see all the other boots are also enchanted, but you can still enchant them. So this one, you can also see that this is 1.20.4 because the mod I'm using is in that version, but using another mod you can join earlier versions. So you can use 1.20.4 to join in 1.12.2. Feather falling, and then this feather falling, this feather falling, and then fire protection, blast protection, fire protection. Okay, let's see here. So there's a bunch of enchants here. The feature where it says what kind of bonuses it gives you when wearing has not yet been added, so it doesn't show how much armor this gives particularly. So yeah. So now we're going to enchant this helmet. What's kind of weird is that the RNG manipulation tool says it will be protection 4 as it says here, but the tooltip says fire protection 4, so I'm interested to see what happens. If you had a close look at the boots I enchanted, you could see that all of the blast protection enchantments and such turned into regular protection 4 enchantments, so that's kind of strange. Okay, let's first enchant with this protection 4. Okay. Another protection 4. This did add 5 protection 4, okay. And blast protection. Another blast protection. Regular protection. Blast protection. And this is blast protection 2. Interesting. Okay, so now we're going to enchant some leggings. So here it said protection, but now it's fire protection. Blast protection. Regular protection. Another regular protection. So it seems like the mod is not fully functioning. Okay, so we got nearly everything, but not projectile protection. So now we're going to do the last piece, the chest plate. And there aren't that many enchantments for chest plates, obviously. So, yep, that's a nice chest plate. And another fun thing to show off is this diamond sword that I got by using like 20 accounts and enchanting it, and using RNG manipulation I made it so that all those 20 accounts added sharpness 4 to it, except for one account clearly didn't get suppressed, because somewhere in the list up here, if you look there, then you see it says Bane of Arthropods. So that didn't work, I guess. And then we're going to be heading over to our next location, which is near the sugarcane farm, which is behind this. So here I have my sugarcane farm and pumpkin farm, and as you can see now I also have a cactus farm. So I placed it pretty far away, so you wouldn't be constantly loading it if you're just loading the sugarcane farm to get some sugarcane, because obviously you can't easily turn a farm like this off, because if a player is within 128 blocks, then the cactuses get random ticked and you get quite a lot of cactus from something like this. As you can see, I'm just standing close now, and you can already see a bunch of cactus items flying here. So obviously I wouldn't build, you don't need to build such a large cactus farm, because this is much too fast. If you just build a slow one near your base, then you'll get all the cactus you'll need, and this is just way too much. But I wanted it for cyan dye, because cyan concrete is quite nice. So yeah, pretty fast cactus farm here. Then the next thing I built is close to here too, using some bedrock items from the beta 1.6 test build 3 chests. I built a 3x3x3 of bedrock here, and this is a wither killer machine. So there's some wither skeleton skulls here, and maybe I have some soul sand here. No, just skulls. But this is a decent design for creating and killing wither bosses, because they suffocate. So Normally you'd stand over there because every entity within 16 blocks of a wither boss when it spawns gets half a heart of damage, so you'd want to be out of that range. But if I just spawn one here, it won't be a problem, it won't kill me. Obviously, wrong type of settings. You should turn blocks and hostile creatures off while doing this. So it moves the blocks into position and then it spawns a wither boss using the dispenser feature. So, and you can see it's currently dying really slowly because it's the only one in there, but once you have more than like 20 in there, then it will start to pick up pace because of the entity cramming. So now we can also test out this 54 attack damage sword, and we can kill him in just a couple hits. And we have gotten another Wither Star. So this is how I process all the Wither Skeleton skulls from the Wither Skeleton farm from last episode. And then the final thing in the end, I believe, is the diamond farm from the thumbnail. So we'll go to the overworld first and check out a farm I've built there. So I was flying to that farm through the nether, and then I need to think about this thing, because you might be wondering how you can get that many alt accounts for enchanting a sword like this with enough levels to enchant a sword like this. And this is the way you do it. You just need to build a high-end pigman farm, and then you can put like 3 or 4 players around here all collecting XP, and then you fly them over to where you want them to be. So next to spawn, I put a couple shulker boxes of elytras and firework rockets, let them fly over here, and then fly through to the end to the update suppressor and enchant items. So through this portal here is another farm I've made, and from the tills glitching through the blocks you can already see what kind of farm it is. It's obviously a guardian farm. Misremembering how you need to get in here again. Yes, like this, because otherwise you get pushed around by the thorns and then you can't AFK. And then you get quite a lot of XP. So I've built a guardian farm already, but this is an XP farm. And the reason why this is quite a special farm is because, as you can see up here, it says buy a mega taiga, and you usually wouldn't see a monument in a mega taiga. So what's going on here? So what's happening here is this is all the chunks, because newer chunks are right over here. This is a new 1.12 chunks, but this is all the 1.7 chunks, I believe. So these older chunks have a mega taiga in them, and then in a newer version the monument spawned in here, so it makes a monument underground, and you can dig all of this space out in order to increase the spawning chances, because if there are blocks higher up, the chance of a successful spawn is a bit lower. And you can build a guardian farm inland here. Of course, I wouldn't do it because you need to light up caves. As you can see here, there are tons of caves I've lit up for this. And under the ocean, like for example this other monument here, is much better choice to build a farm, because you'd need to clear all the water in here obviously, but you can do that quite easily, and you only have to light up a few caves. But in this elevated amplified terrain here, it's horrible to light up all of these caves. It takes a really long time, because otherwise of course the mob cap gets filled up with other mobs and not with guardians. This is a design by Nembon, by the way. and quite easy Guardian farm design, and you can turn it off by pressing this button here because it takes out all the water then. So, Guardian XP farm. Let's head on to the next thing. So, before we continue with the diamond farm, I'd like to show you off this space. As you can see, there are a couple villages here which are used to breed up a bunch more villages and sent through this end gateway. Ooh, almost got thrown off by these guys. So this is my villager trading place for 1.12, as I wanted to get a bunch of all the 1.12 villages, and I didn't have a really good breeder, so now I built this tower here, which is quite nice. It's a carrot farm. All of these farmers in here, I believe I can't see them because I'm not close enough. There should be one farmer in every layer. So if we go over here, yes, we can see the farmers. What they do is they walk around, harvest grown crops, and then try to plant crops in here on this particular spot, but they never can plant there. At least they can plant there, but then the block gets updated by this pulsing redstone here, and it realizes, oh, it's too dark here in order to support crop. And then it pops off and it gets collected by these hopper minecarts down the hopper chain, and then into this dropper, which is pulsing constantly and throws out a carrot, and then into this ice line, and it feeds. If we go back, because the entities aren't rendering that far away, if we come back here, we can see all these villages are getting carrots. They need to breed. Then over here is the extra carrots. Oh, this chest is already backed up. Okay. Oh, wood chest. I was wondering where I had left it. Okay. Here we have the baby villages. They fall through these fences because the villages are perfectly aligned, so that baby villages are too small and they'll fall through the gap there and get collected over here. And this thing is just a villager growing up place, because when they grow up they become 2 blocks tall. They will swim up a bit in this lower water, and then with their head they'll touch the upper water and flow through here, and then through here, and then into the lower grown up villager pit, which is where I take a look at them, because in 1.12 you can't change villagers' profession. Oh, this is quite rare. All of them are black coats. And then you can just level them or kill them. For demonstration purposes, I'll kill them all. And then once all of them are killed, new villages are put in. This is a design I made myself, so it's not perfect, because, for example, when you're killing a villager you might click on this repeater in the back here and break stuff, but it works for me. I need to have a repeater here because below here we have pistons, and otherwise they'll get butt powered. And if you see a villager you'd want, of course not going to find any good villager here, but let's imagine I'd want this guy. I'll hit this button, gets pushed around a bit and into a minecart. He's already on his way, I believe. Yes, Then he'll go into this trading hall I designed, which also isn't perfect. This guy might escape, but it works most of the time. You see these activator rails below these walls. Most of the time, yes. Oh no, it just about didn't work. So most of the time the villagers get ejected perfectly on the activator rail, and then they'll flow up into the water, and then they'll lock the activator rail and deactivate it, so not another villager can go into the same cell. But stuff like this can happen, and I have no idea why. Because he should get ejected on that activator rail block 100% of the time, and he shouldn't be inside this other block, so he shouldn't be able to walk further into the block. But clearly he can, so what can I say about it, I guess. Yeah, so this is a way to get a bunch of 1 or 12 villages and sort through them if they have good trades. For example, this isn't the best potato, carrot, wheat villager, and this should be 6 bread, for example, so you just have to kill them. That's how it goes in 1.12. Let's then head on to the final project, I believe. Through here, and then it's the diamond farm. So I need to go over here. It's essentially behind that gateway, but I believe that gateway is linking up too close to the farm. Oh, always annoying when that happens. So then I'll just look, the gateway is over to the left there. So you wouldn't want to spawn there because there's a bunch of safe stated chunks that you'd break if you'd go over there. So now we've gone to this ice platform, which isn't really an ice platform because it's frosted ice, as you can see in the top left corner. So now we're at the diamond farm location. So first of all, I should explain precisely how all of this works and what you are looking at right now. So the first thing I needed to do was create a slime block flying machine, which I've since taken down. But somewhere around here, before I loaded the chunks in the back there, I need to construct a flying machine here, put chest minecarts on it with save state books, and then fly it over here, and that way you can save state a row of chunks here, because otherwise it would probably take too much time to place all the save state book shulker boxes in these chunks. So this is the edge of the loaded chunk area. So as you can see, this is the final loaded chunk, and then these chunks are all ungenerated on disk. So they're all empty on disk, and they stay that way because every time the player comes close enough to load these chunks, this instant wire is also activated, which goes around here. And then in these chunks there are a few contraptions which save state both themselves and this chunk. So they dispense save state shulker boxes into this chunk and save state themselves in order to be reset when they are reloaded. So this ice floor here was constructed afterwards. Starting from here, I first need to place these 2 ice blocks, and then it can start generating the platform. So that way it's much easier to build all of these small modules which push over diamond ore blocks. And this is just a design by Il Mango, if I remember correctly. It uses these armor stands with frostwalker boots on them to create this ice sheet. then you need to build the general farm while keeping your save state boxes loaded so the chunks don't get regenerated or something. So how does this farm work? Well, in the end, ores like diamond ore also get placed in every chunk, but the generation attempts always fail because there is never any stone to place them in. They can't spawn in end stone. But when you have stone like this here from a stone generator, which is just below here, um, it can be used to create diamond ores, and you might have seen that these are just 20 contraptions which are identical to each other, and that's the reason this is built in the end, because in the end there are these areas which are 20 by 20 chunks, and all of those chunks reset the chunk RNG to the same number whenever they're generated, and that means that when they populate and place these ores, they all have the same seed, which means they all place the ores at the same spot. So if you were to build this in, for example, the overworld, which is the other option, you'd need to configure this contraption differently for every chunk, because of course in the overworld every chunk has different diamond generation positions. So that's much more annoying than just designing a contraption once and then copying 20 times over. So let's get back to the player in order to explain this properly. So the player gets in here in this minecart, and then we have this delay circuit. As you can see, I was playing around with the delay circuit. Theoretically, this player move around thing could be cycled every 300 game ticks, which means 3 times per autosave, because the problem here is the autosave. You can see the autosave timer somewhere up here. And the main problem is that whenever the autosave hits while there are no save state books in those chunks over there, in these chunks, they will be saved to the disk, meaning you can't use them again to generate diamonds. So we need to make sure the player is always in this chunk when those chunks are unloaded whenever the autosave hits, so that's never a problem. So this the amount of time it takes to do one cycle should always fit inside the autosave. So like you can do 300 ticks. Every autosave cycle takes 900 ticks or 45 seconds, so you can do it in 450 ticks or 300 ticks or even less, 100 ticks, if you can figure out how to make it that fast, but I haven't yet, so I'm running it on this 450 tick clock. Theoretically it could be run at 300 ticks, but what happens then is that there is a chance that it doesn't take there isn't enough time for these chunks to fill saving on disk, meaning that when so the players move, those chunks are unloaded, but the player is moved back so quickly again that these chunks haven't actually finished failing to save to disk, meaning there are still some slime blocks in this chunk from the save state contraption, and if that happens a few times in a row, then the save stating breaks and this diamond generation also will fail. So that's the main danger. I believe it's also dependent on lag, so For my computer, 450 ticks is the way to go, but maybe you'd need to use all of those repeaters, then full 900 ticks, in order to be able to use this contraption. Then, when the player gets moved over, he activates this terrible redstone circuit, which starts a timer which will move him back in some amount of time when all of that over there is finished. And first of all, it starts this instant wire, which I've already talked about, which starts all of these contraptions and the save states, of course. So these chunks are loaded, which place diamond ore blocks in these neighboring chunks. Then the diamond ore blocks are pushed over and the generated stone blocks are pushed up. By the way, stone generators in 1.12 aren't reliable because liquids get random ticked and they might flow too fast. But because the player is further than 128 blocks away, these chunks aren't random ticked, so this stone generator never breaks. So then the diamond ore is moved over in this 2x2 shape, like here. They'll all end up here. And then these pistons push them with this double piston extender into just one thick line, which means you need to build only so many of these movers, and then they're moved all the way over here to the player, which is mining them. Obviously this farm isn't that efficient. I could have timed all of these things way nicer and pushed all of the diamond ore together and had a lot less than 20 players mine it, but I thought it was neat. It's just 20 times the same contraption, so it's quite interesting for that reason. Then these players mine it using silk touch pickaxes, and then the diamond ore is sent to this dropper, which drops it in this water stream, which drops it into this end portal. And we should probably go through that end portal to show the overworld side of this. Okay, of course at my spawn point instead of the world spawn, so I need to go over there real quick, because the position where the diamond ore entities end up is the 0, 0 position, which is here. As you can see in the top left, this is 0, 0. So they end up, oh, that glass block shouldn't be there, this one. They end up right over here in this water stream, flow down, flow next to these places, which place them against this cobblestone stair, and this water is just there that when items glitch up they also flow back down again. And then these 5 players are mining them using Fortune 3 pickaxes, and then the diamonds drop down here, are sent to some shulker box loaders, which are over here. And then shulker boxes are broken, of course, like in every shulker box loaders, and they are sent over to these chests. And then you have a bunch of diamonds and some trash I left in while building this. So why not just have the players in the end mine them? Aren't the chances of getting a lot of diamonds from Fortune 3 equal in the end and the overworld? Well, no, because in the end you can't RNG manipulate like that. So in a previous episode I've shown the RNG manipulation grid I have running over here. As you can see, there are a lot of chunks being loaded. At least one every tick, and that way the RNG gets reset every tick. and then the player can mine the diamond ore and get 4 diamonds every time. So the RNG grid is, as you can see, currently running. So I can place 8 diamond ores here, and if I quickly throw out these diamonds, okay, so I have 8 diamond ores. This is a fortune 3 pickaxe. The maximum amount of diamonds they can drop is 4 per ore, but because the RNG manipulation grid is running, they'll always drop 4 per ore. So this is 8, so it should give 8 times 4 equals 32 diamonds, and I have no in my inventory. Then we'll walk and see 32 diamonds, and that will happen every time. 8 more diamond ores. This is pretty well known tech, so it should give a full stack like that. So yeah, that's how this farm kind of works. And there's not much else to say about it, I believe. I will go back to the farm and then run it real quick so you can see what it looks like when it's running. Oh. It's quite laggy, however, because the RNG grid is quite laggy too. Whenever an autosave hits, the MSPT really spikes because the entire RNG grid needs to be unloaded. So, and I'm recording now too, so that's also some additional lag. I need to wait for the next timer to say 450. Of course, oh, I can't actually reach that button when it's over there. There it is. Okay. Okay. Right, like this. 440 I hit it. That's great. So now you can see diamonds moving over. Players moved over afterwards to unload these chunks. Then there is a delay to ensure that those chunks are truly unloaded on disk. And that was sent back. So now I'll fly over there and we can see what's happening. So these shulker boxes get placed in order to make sure these chunks remain ungenerated. And then after some time right now, you can see these chunks are loaded and pistons push everything over and everything is nicely moved over. Not that complicated, if I do say so myself. And then diamond ore sent over to the overworld, and always 4 diamonds per drop. So let's see how many diamonds would that produce. These are 20 modules. And let's turn this off. Right, 20 modules. Let's grab my calculator. 20 modules times 4 diamonds per, or 4 ores per module, times 4 diamonds per ore, and then that is 320 diamonds every cycle, and we have 2 cycles per autosave, which means 640 diamonds per autosave. So how many autosaves are there in an hour? Well, it's 3600 seconds in an hour divided by the 45 seconds it takes for each autosave equals 80 autosaves times the 640 diamonds per autosave cycle equals 51,200 diamonds per hour, which is this number, which will obviously also be in the thumbnail because it's too great of a clickbait not to use. Yeah. So thanks everyone for watching today's technical unobtained episode. I hope you like it. I also hope I can bring out the next episode a bit sooner, but I was quite busy the past year or so I wasn't really able to make an episode or progress that much as you've seen in today's episode. It wasn't that much time I've put in. But maybe next episode will be even more interesting. So I hope you guys might like this episode if you guys watched it to this point. I think that's fair. And if you want to see what I get up to next episode, you should subscribe so you get a notification when the next episode comes out. So have a great day, everyone. Bye bye.